You walk into a room, everyone stops talking. For half a second, nobody looks at you. Your stomach drops, your chest tightens. Nothing has actually happened. No one has said a word, but your body is already bracing for disaster. That reaction feels irrational. It isn't. Your brain just triggered one of the oldest alarm systems you own. Older than your fear of heights, older than your fear of snakes, and the real answer is far stranger than you think, because that alarm was never built for lions or bears or venomous predators at all. It was built for something quieter, something that left no scars and no blood. It was built for exclusion. For most of human history, the single greatest threat to your survival was not a predator's jaw. It was the moment your group decided you no longer belonged. Picture the world your ancestors actually lived in. Small bands, 20 to 50 people. No hospitals, no stored food reserves, no weapons that could take down a leopard alone. Survival depended entirely on cooperation. A lion could kill one person. Exile could kill everyone who mattered to that person, slowly, over weeks. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar spent decades studying the size and structure of early human social groups. His research suggests the human brain evolved specifically to track relationships, obligations, and reputations within tight-knit communities, not to calculate escape routes from predators, to calculate standing within the group, because standing was survival. If you were cast out of a Pleistocene band, you did not simply walk away and start over somewhere else. There was nowhere else. Exile usually meant death, just slower and quieter than a predator's attack. Starvation, exposure, and injury nobody helped you recover from. So evolution did something ruthless. It made social rejection feel like physical danger, not similar to it, identical to it on a neural level. Psychologist Kipling Williams ran an experiment that changed how scientists understood this. Participants played a simple ball tossing game with two other players, unaware the other players were programmed to eventually stop passing them the ball. Just a game. With strangers they'd never meet again. The effect was immediate. Participants reported real emotional pain. Brain scans in follow-up studies using this paradigm showed activation in regions associated with the distress of physical injury. Being excluded from a meaningless game lit up the same alarm system as a broken bone. Your brain does not distinguish between the group left without me and I am in danger. To your oldest instincts, they are the exact same sentence. Think about how that reframes your worst social memories. The group chat that went quiet after you sent a message. The joke that landed with silence instead of laughter. None of these threatened your life, but some ancient circuit inside you responded as if they did. Your heart rate climbs. Your palms sweat. Your thoughts loop, searching for what went wrong. This is not a metaphor. It is the same cascade your ancestors felt when a predator's shadow crossed the tree line. Your environment changed in the blink of an evolutionary eye. Your nervous system never got the memo. Why would evolution build something so oversensitive? Because oversensitive was safer than accurate. A false alarm cost you a moment of anxiety. A missed real exclusion could cost you your life. Natural selection doesn't reward precision. It rewards whichever error keeps you alive. This is where the story gets stranger. Social psychologist John Cacioppo spent his career studying loneliness, and what he found was unsettling. Chronic social isolation doesn't just feel bad. It measurably shortens lifespan. It raises inflammation. It weakens the immune system in ways comparable to smoking or obesity. Your body treats prolonged disconnection as an active physical threat, because for most of human evolutionary history, it was one. There's a reason solitary confinement is considered one of the harshest punishments a human can endure, even when every physical need is met. Your ancestors weren't just afraid of the dark forest beyond the firelight. They were afraid of the fire itself going cold because no one wanted to sit beside them. This fear didn't disappear when humans built cities, laws, and locks on doors. The predators mostly vanished from your daily life, but your nervous system doesn't know that. It's still running software written for a world of 20 to 50 people, where losing your place in the group meant losing everything. That's why an unanswered text can trigger something close to panic. That's why public speaking, with zero physical danger attached, consistently ranks among the most feared human experiences. You're not afraid of the microphone. You're afraid of failing in front of the tribe. That's why social media notifications hijack your attention so effectively. Every like, every comment, is your brain's ancient reputation tracking system firing in real time, checking whether you still belong. The apps didn't invent this vulnerability, they simply found it. Psychologist Mark Leary proposed something called sociometer theory to explain this. Your self-esteem, he argued, functions like a gauge constantly measuring your perceived value to the group around you. When that gauge drops, you don't just feel disappointed, you feel unsafe. Why do humans care so intensely what strangers on the internet think of them? People who have zero power over their actual survival. Because the sociometer doesn't know the difference between a Pleistocene tribe and a comment section. It just reads the signal, acceptance or rejection. Here's the twist that makes all of this stranger. Your ancestors weren't just afraid of predators picking them off one by one. In many ways, they were more afraid of becoming the target of their own group. Anthropological studies of small-scale societies show that gossip, shaming, and the threat of exclusion functioned as social policing long before formal laws existed. Groups didn't need prisons. They had something more efficient, the threat of being cut off. No court, no trial, just a slow withdrawal of warmth, fewer conversations, eyes that no longer met yours. The punishment cost the group nothing, and it worked because your ancestors' bodies interpreted it as a death sentence in progress. That means the fear living in you right now isn't just leftover trauma from a dangerous world. It's leftover awareness that your own community held the power to determine whether you lived or died, and they knew it too. So the next time your chest tightens because a message goes unanswered or a room goes quiet when you walk in, understand what's actually happening. You're not overreacting. You're running one of the oldest survival programs your species ever built, designed by 100,000 years of a single, brutal truth. The wolves outside the fire were dangerous, but the people around that fire deciding whether you still belong to it, they decided everything. You walk into a room, everyone stops talking. For half a second, nobody looks at you. Your stomach drops. That's not fear of a stranger's judgment. That's the oldest part of you, still counting who's left at the fire.